Hello, and welcome to Just Say It, the podcast that turns beginners into confident English speakers. Each episode brings you real-life conversations, repeat after me practice, and fun cultural tips. Ready to speak up? Let's dive in.
Language is, well, it's alive, isn't it? Always changing, always moving, and honestly, sometimes it feels like you just can't keep up, especially now with how fast we communicate. It can really feel like learning a whole new language.
Oh, absolutely. It's constantly in flux.
So today we're embarking on an exploration into this really fascinating world of modern American slang. We're going to focus particularly on those terms you hear a lot from Gen Z.
Right, the younger generation's vocabulary.
Exactly. And our mission here, really, is to pull out the important bits from the sources we've looked at. We want to demystify some of these terms, maybe look at their surprising origins and sort of understand their impact on communication. Especially for you, our listener, if you're curious about bridging those, linguistic gaps.
It's definitely a relevant topic.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. We're talking Gen Z, born roughly 97 to 2012. They're really entering the workforce now, becoming a significant group.
A major demographic shift.
And the sources we looked at mentioned that if you haven't interacted much with them, there could be a bit of a culture shock.
Yeah, it's putting it mildly sometimes.
Think about, the casual use of punctuation or no capital letters, maybe TikTok dances, but especially their distinct language. So what is this new lingo? The stuff popping up in offices, social media, just, everyday chat.
Well, what's really fascinating, I think, is just the speed. How fast these informal terms spread. They create this kind of linguistic shorthand.
Right.
Which is super efficient if you're in that group. But like you said, it can be totally perplexing if you're not. It feels like language evolution on fast forward, heavily driven by, online platforms.
It really does highlight how dynamic language is. So, okay, let's try and demystify some of these. Maybe start with terms describing feelings or states. Like if someone says something is lit, what are they actually saying?
Lit. Yeah, that just means something's amazing or exciting, cool. Free lunch in the office, that's lit. It's about enthusiasm.
Simple enough.
Pretty much. But maybe a little hint. Like any trendy word, overuse it or force it, and it can become, decidedly unlit.
Imagine. Okay, what about a feeling many of us definitely know? FOMO.
Oh, FOMO, classic. Stands for fear of missing out. It nails that anxiety, that feeling of being left out of things.
Right.
You might hear someone say, I come into the office every day because I have such bad FOMO. It really captures a very modern kind of social pressure, doesn't it?
It really does. Makes perfect sense. Now, shifting slightly, if someone calls another person salty, what's the feeling there?
Salty means feeling bitter or irritated, usually about something specific, are you still salty? She got the promotion and you didn't. It's that lingering resentment, that kind of pointed annoyance.
Gotcha. Okay, moving from feelings to actions. What about flex? Is that like working out?
Good question. No, not physical flexing. In slang, flex means to show off, to boast.
Oh, okay.
So, good luck at your interview today. Make sure you flex all your achievements, show them what you've got.
Makes sense.
And here's a fun one, bonus points maybe. If someone brags about something a bit odd, or maybe something that isn't even really a brag, like, I finished my coffee first, you can hint them with weird flex, but okay.
I like that.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic, a good way to gently call out strange boasting.
That is fun. Okay, another modern action, ghost.
Ghost. Yeah, used as a verb. It just means totally ignoring someone. Their calls, texts, emails, just vanishing.
Wow.
Like, I sent him 3 emails last week, but he completely ghosted me. It's definitely a frustrating part of modern communication, reflects how digital interactions have kind of changed the rules.
Definitely feels that way. Okay, how about stan? I hear that one a lot, but the origin seems a bit fuzzy.
Stan is basically a die-hard fan, super enthusiastic supporter, and yeah, its origins are debated, which is interesting in itself.
How so?
Well, some think it's a mix, like stalker and fan put together, but most people point to that Eminem song from 2000, Stan.
The song about the obsessed fan.
Exactly. So you'll hear, she is a huge T-Swift stan, and importantly, you can use it as a verb, too, like, we stan a Greta Gerwig movie. Meaning you really, really admire it.
It's amazing how one song can coin a term that just takes off. Okay, speaking of pairs, what about low-key and high-key? They feel connected.
They absolutely are. Two sides of a coin. Low-key is subtle, discreet, not widely known.
Right.
And high-key is the opposite. Obvious, out there, widely known.
And low-key seems like it has a few different shades of meaning.
It does, yeah. It can mean subtly or secretly or even moderately. Often implies you're a bit embarrassed about something or trying to keep it quiet, like,
Right.
I've been low-key obsessed with the show, or I'm low-key thinking about moving next year, keeping it on the down low.
Okay.
But it can also just describe a vibe, you know?
Right.
Relaxed, understated. The party will be super low-key and casual, or she's super low-key and friendly.
Interesting. And where did it come from?
Well, the roots apparently go way back to music terms in the 1800s. Deeper pitch, soft tone. But as slang, it really emerged in the 2000s, spread online through pop culture. Chance the Rapper used it a lot.
And spelling. Low-key. Low-key.
Both work, apparently, which just shows how fluid slang can be, even with spelling.
Right. Now, clout. That sounds like power, influence.
Precisely. If someone has clout, they have fame, popularity, influence. Like Abby's TikTok went viral, and now she thinks she has so much clout.
Okay. And I've heard of clout chaser.
Yep, that's the bonus. Someone who tries to gain influence by, hanging around popular people, chasing that clout.
Got it. Yeet. That one just sounds energetic.
It is. Yeet as a verb usually means to throw something, like really hard or fast.
Mhm.
Can you yeet this water bottle into the recycling?
So just throwing, but with force.
Pretty much. But you'll also just hear young people shout yeet, like for enthusiasm, or sometimes for seemingly no reason at all. It's almost like a sound effect for energy.
Okay. And then there's shade. My mind immediately goes to, like, subtle insults.
You're definitely on the right track. Shade is subtle criticism, subtle disrespect. Usually in the phrase throwing shade.
Passive-aggressive.
Kind of, yeah. A way to snub someone or show disapproval without being totally direct. It's quite nuanced.
And IRL. I see that typed all the time.
IRL just means in real life.
Wow.
It's always typed. Yeah, you don't really say it out loud. It's just to distinguish between, online stuff and offline reality.
Which feels like an increasingly necessary distinction.
Doesn't it just?
Okay. And speaking of online, sus. That one blew up thanks to a game, right?
It absolutely did. Sus is just short for suspicious. Its huge popularity came from the game Among Us.
Yeah.
Players typing red is sus, calling out potential imposters.
And now it applies to anything.
Anything. People, situations, even food someone left in the fridge too long can be sus.
Okay, what about when someone texts something is dead? They don't mean literally, obviously.
No. If something's dead, it means it's hilarious, like you died of laughter. It's exaggeration for comedic effect. And bonus points here for texting. You'll often see people use the skull emoji instead of laughing emojis to mean dead.
Okay. I've seen that. Makes sense now. And if a song slaps, that's good.
Very good. If something slaps, you really, really enjoyed it. Food, a song, a movie, this burrito bowl slaps.
Got it. Any caveats?
Yeah, maybe don't overdo it. It sounds a bit much. If everything slaps, use it where it fits.
Good advice. And extra.
Extra just describes behavior that's unnecessary, over the top, excessive. Don't you think a baby shower for a fourth kid is a little extra? Doing more than needed.
Understood. Okay, nearly there on this first batch. W or L, those single letters.
Super simple. W is win, a victory. L is loss, a defeat. Quick judgment on an outcome. You can type them or say them.
Easy enough. And T, what's the T on T?
T is gossip. The good stuff, the juicy details. What's the tea means what's the gossip.
And if you share it.
You spill the tea. And it's really important to know this term has deep roots in African American communities, especially ballroom culture going back to the 80s. Tea originally meant truth or tea.
That cultural origin piece is crucial. Good to remember. Okay, another common one. Bet. Not about gambling, I assume.
Not at all. Bet is basically okay or sure and affirmative, or it can show enthusiasm like cool or great.
Example.
Hey, want to grab lunch? Bet means yes, definitely. And interestingly, there's online debate about whether it's millennial or Gen Z, which just shows you how these lines blur.
True. Okay, last one for this section. I'm down.
I'm down just means I'm in, I want to, count me in. Super versatile. Movie tonight, oh, I'm down, grab a beer, yeah, I'm down. Simple agreement or enthusiasm.
All right, now, here's where it gets, I think, really interesting. Let's maybe take a closer look, a more focused look, at one phrase that seems to generate a ton of discussion. No cap.
Ah, yes, no cap. You hear it everywhere.
So first off, what does it actually mean?
It means No lie, not lying, I'm not exaggerating. It's used to really emphasize that what you're saying is true, the absolute truth.
Okay.
You hear it a lot among younger people, yeah, conversationally, social media. It affirms something is true or impressive or maybe even kind of crazy but real.
Like if someone tells an unbelievable story.
Exactly. You might respond, no cap, that really happened. Or if someone says something impressive, no cap, that was amazing. It adds that layer of emphasis, of authenticity.
And its origins. Seems like it has a clear lineage in the African-American community.
Yes, the sources point strongly to its origins and heavy use within the African-American community. It really gained wider traction through hip-hop and rap.
Right.
You had artists like Lil Baby with a song called No Cap in 2018. Megan Thee Stallion uses it often. That cultural influence really pushed it into the mainstream.
It is fascinating how that happens, how phrases travel. But the word cap itself, why does cap mean lie? Seems like there are quite a few theories about that part.
Oh, there are loads of them, which, kind of tells you something about how language evolves often without a neat, tidy origin story everyone agrees on.
So what's the main theory?
The leading one traces cap, meaning lie or exaggerate, back to older slang. Like early 90s, to cap meant to brag or exaggerate.
Okay.
And that might connect back even further to the 60s term capping, which was about like ritualized insults or one-upmanship. And maybe even to a 1940s sense of cap meaning top or limit, as in to surpass.
Wow, so a long potential history there.
Essentially, yeah. So under that theory, no cap originally meant something like speaking genuinely from the heart, not exaggerating or bragging.
That makes a certain kind of sense.
Yeah.
But I've definitely heard other ideas, more modern ones, like about typing.
You have. There are definitely more speculative theories. One connects it to caps lock online, implying yelling or exaggeration, so cap becomes lying. Another, maybe more playful one, links it to the Twitch emote kappa, which signals sarcasm or lying. Maybe shortened to cap, then cap.
Interesting, but maybe less likely historically.
Probably less historically grounded, yeah. But they show how people try to make sense of language using their current context, like digital culture.
It really does highlight that, doesn't it? Once a word gets big, people look for explanations, sometimes after the fact.
Yeah.
Why do you think words like cap attract so many different origin stories? What does that tell us about language versus how we think about language origins?
That's a great question. I think it speaks to our sort of human desire for clear stories, clear beginnings. But language, especially informal language, often just emerges organically, maybe a bit messily, from subcultures, spreading through talking or quick digital messages.
Without a neat little birth certificate.
Exactly. So pinning down the origin is hard. Our perception of its history is often, like you said, a post hoc rationalization. We build the story afterwards. And this messy, often untraceable evolution, that's actually what makes slang so vibrant and interesting. It's living creativity in action.
That's a great way to put it. And just quickly, on using no cap, is it good or bad? Seems like the sources say it's subjective.
Totally subjective. Depends on context, who you're talking to, your personal style. Some find it useful, adds emphasis. Others find it overused or annoying. If you don't like it, you can just say seriously or wow, really, or I'm not kidding. Plenty of alternatives.
Right. So taking a step back, what does all this mean for English, for our listener, trying to stay informed in this, fast-changing linguistic world?
Well, connecting it to the bigger picture, it just underscores how language mirrors society, doesn't it? It's shaped by everything: social media trends, technology, history, cultural shifts. Understanding these patterns, these influences, that's really key for critical thinking today. It's not just about the words themselves, but the forces behind the words.
Yeah, absolutely. And our sources definitely frame slang as like the wild child of English. It's informal, creative, always shifting. Which is why it can be tricky, especially for non-native speakers. It's informal, rooted in specific culture sometimes, and it changes so fast. Think about YOLO. Feels almost dated now, right?
Definitely. And it's so important to acknowledge where a lot of this creativity comes from. American slang has incredibly diverse roots, often bubbling up from subcultures before hitting the mainstream.
Yeah.
And there's a huge undeniable influence from African American culture and Black queer culture specifically. Terms like snatched, slay, drag her, yes, queen. These came from those communities, showcasing incredible linguistic innovation. That context is vital.
Absolutely vital. And history itself leaves its mark too, right?
Yeah.
Some slang seems like a direct reaction to events.
Totally. Think going nuclear or meltdown from the atomic age, going postal after those tragic workplace incidents in the 80s. Even the space race gave us moonshot, spacey, far out. Language reflects its times.
And art. Books, movies, TV, they coin words too.
Oh, for sure. Shakespeare gave us tons, like bareface. Sci-fi is huge for this. Warp speed from Star Trek, calling odd things the Twilight Zone. Gibson's cyberspace. Heinlein's grokking to understand deeply.
And one really fun thing Americans seem to love doing with slang is reversing meanings.
Yes, that's a classic. Bad meaning good goes back over a century. And so many others follow. Dope, radical, sick, wicked. Taking a negative word and flipping it to mean something positive, cool, or impressive.
It's such a strange but common linguistic trick.
It really is. Slang also acts as kind of a generational badge, doesn't it? Millennials had YOLO, LOL, selfie. Now we see Gen Z terms taking over, though that transition is always debated. Words like mood or facts also caught on, capturing feelings of relatability or agreement.
And today, you just can't ignore the role of pop culture and the internet, can you?
Absolutely critical. Music, movies, social media, memes. They drive so much of modern vocabulary. Digitalization has just turbocharged everything, made it easier to access, mash up languages and art forms, and spread slang globally instantly.
It's a whole new ballgame.
It really is. And, knowledge is great, but it's most valuable when you understand it and can maybe even apply it. Engaging with slang isn't just trivia. It's about building cultural literacy, communicating better in a world that's diverse and changing fast. It's about seeing those currents under the surface.
So, bringing it back to you, our listener, why does understanding this matter? Well, it helps bridge communication gaps. Could be prepping for a meeting, catching up on trends, or maybe you're just, like us, insanely curious about how language works.
And if you want to understand or even use some slang, how do you spot it? Look for phrases that don't make literal sense. Throw shade isn't about blocking sunlight.
Right.
And context is everything. That's lit. At a party means fun, not actual fire. Pay attention to where and how it's used. That's your best guide.
And if you want to try using it naturally without sounding awkward.
Start small. Easy, common phrases first.
Yeah.
What's up? Piece of cake. Get comfortable. And remember, the context is use it casually, probably not in a formal job interview or a business proposal.
Good point.
Yourself helps you hear it used naturally. See how real people use it. And please, avoid overusing it or using phrases in the wrong context. Like we said, spill the tea is gossip, not asking for Earl Grey. Authenticity matters. Don't force it.
Great practical tips. Well, that brings us towards the end of our exploration today into this ever-shifting landscape of modern American slang. We've covered quite a bit, from specific Gen Z terms and all those theories about no cap, to the bigger forces, culture, history, tech, shaping our words.
It really is a testament to how dynamic communication is. Language is absolutely a living thing, constantly being reshaped by how we all use it every single day.
So maybe a final thought for you, our listener, to mull over as you go about your day. Think about the words you use, even casually. How do they play a part in this ongoing evolution? And maybe, what older words do you notice potentially shifting meaning right now? Words just waiting, perhaps, to be picked up by a future generation with a totally new spin. What does that tell us about how permanent or impermanent language really is?
Great job today on Just Say It, where every phrase brings you closer to fluency. If you found this lesson helpful, click the bell to never miss an episode and leave a comment sharing your favorite tip. Until next time, keep practicing and just say it.